Matthew is the kind of person that would do anything for anyone who asks them. He is very kind. He is very concrete in his thinking, so whatever somebody asks, that's directly what they're going to get from him. He's the kind of guy that's fun to be around because he's a really happy person. I originally got Matthew in foster care when he was about 5 months old. When I first got Matthew, he did not have any diagnoses. His first diagnosis was that of neurofibromatosis 1, which is a lifelong disease. There is no cure for it. It can be caused by heredity, but Matthew has no history of that in his background, so for him it was a spontaneous thing. Later, he was diagnosed also with fetal alcohol effects, meaning that he was affected by alcohol that was ingested during utero, and autism. Matthew was in therapy from the time I got him. He was involved in Birth to 3. They would do occupational therapy with him, that's small muscle control, physical therapy to try to help him with his muscle tone, speech therapy, play therapy. He had those multiple times a week from the time he was a baby all up through early childhood into his early elementary years. As he got into school, his understanding and his handwriting, his ability to grasp things as quickly as the other kids was difficult for him. He didn't necessarily want the help. He wanted to be able to do what everybody else could, which I think has served him well in the long run. But when he was little, it was hard to work with him. Socially, as a youngster, he wasn't the kid who got invited to birthday parties. He didn't have a lot of social experiences outside of the family because he needed a lot of help. I think the biggest growth in Matthew socially has been in his later high school years and continuing on into his adulthood.
When Matthew came into our program as a freshman, of course, he was very shy. And we knew that Matthew wanted to be a part of our program. And then it was, as he became a sophomore, he really learned, and we could see confidence building. He was more confident about, being in the locker room, about being on the field, at practice, at pregame, all of those things. And that confidence grew until his junior year. And when Matthew became a senior, of course, we expect a lot out of our seniors. To lead our team in many different ways. And we didn't expect anything less from Matthew. Matthew, he knew that was his role as a senior, as a leader on our football program. And you could just see that confidence grow year after year after year.
As he's matured and felt a little more confident in himself, he's able to go outside of the family, and his involvement in things in the high school and his involvement with his co-workers at Culver's has really helped him a lot socially. Matthew initially got his job at Culver's through the help of Department of Vocational Rehab, specifically Diverse Options. Through the Department of Vocational Rehab, they look at what the goals are, short-term and long-term, for employment. I think the biggest thing that his job at Culver's has enabled is freedom. Financially, social, he's made friends with a great deal of his coworkers. They're always happy to see him. He loves his job. It's given him finances that he hasn't had in the past. He was able to purchase a vehicle, and that's given him the finances to pay for that. Initially, when Matthew went to purchase a car, he had money from graduation. Dealing with money is not a strength for Matthew, so we had him take out a small loan, and he makes a payment each month towards that, in hopes that that'll teach him responsibility financially and just in an adult sense. I think the thing that makes me most proud of Matthew is just the kind of human being he is. He has endured so much. He has had the chips very much stacked against him from birth on, coming into the world with being placed in foster care, having to endure not really fitting in, and figuring out how he could persevere. So it's that perseverance that I think is an incredible quality about him. I really hope that Matthew continues to be as wide-eyed and happy about the world and interested in learning new things. That fabulous spirit that he has, I think it brightens people's days. I think he goes into the world with enthusiasm because he's happy with who he is, and he's not always trying to compete against others and look for things. He's just happy with what he has, and that's a great quality.